Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. Thanks again for joining me. So no equipment required for this one, you'll be happy to hear. So all you need is your fabulous self and the mat and you are ready to go. So we're going to start today's class on our backs. You want to bring your feet together, bring the heels in as close to your hips as you can and lay yourself on the ground. Let the hands lay on the belly, knees rest out. Just allow them to be heavy. And then just settle into the mat. Guiding your attention to the breath. So just let yourself take a few paces away from any noise, any drama of the mind right now. Letting that noise fade away, just like a background hum. So it's still there, we're aware it's still there, but we're not involved in those thoughts. Take in the breath a little bit deeper. So mindfully lengthening the breath. Gently opening the eyes, bringing the soles of the feet onto the mat, maybe around mat distance apart. I'm going to do some windscreen wipers laying down. So maybe bringing the hands by your side, taking the knees over to the right, letting them hang heavy. Finding some stretch through the hips, lifting up and then over to the other side. So remember, you do want a fair distance between your feet. You don't want your legs falling on top of each other. A few more times. One more on each side. And then bringing ourselves back to centre. So knees bent, feet flat on the ground. So we're going to do a little bit of a variation on the bridge pose. So keeping the feet flat on the ground, the knees bent, we're going to take our arms overhead, take the hips up, and then we're going to extend the right leg out. So you want to keep your legs in line with each other. So the thighs are in line, extending out through the right foot. So taking another breath here, keeping the hips high. Dropping the foot down, swapping over sides. Extending out the left, keeping the hips up. Bringing the foot back down, bum down, and then arms back by our side. So we're going to do two more of those. So taking the arms overhead, lifting the hips, extending the right left. Staying mindful through the breaths. Swapping over sides, right comes down, left one comes out. So keeping the thighs in line, pressing out through the toe tips, hips up nice and high. Bringing the feet down, bum down, arms by your side. Take a breath. Last one. Arms overhead, hips come up, extend the right. Right down, left up. Hips stay up, remember. Feet come down, bum comes down, arms down by your side. Taking the knees into the chest, holding onto the shins, giving yourself a little roll on the spine. And gently rock yourself up to seated, taking the hands onto the knees, a few rounds of seated cat-cow now. So inhale, chest up, shoulders back. Exhale, concave, doming through the shoulder blades. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Coming to neutral and into a twist. Left hand onto right knee. Right hand comes behind. Lift the spine, taking the gaze back. Taking your hand further round if you have a little bit more twist there. Through centre, crossing over side. So right hand onto left knee. Left hand behind, up the spine. Taking the twist back. So that left shoulder rolls back, the chest lifts up. Through to centre, hands into prayer, reaching up. Hands down and into a downward facing dog from here. Taking some movement through the knees, movement through the ankles. And then settling into our downward facing dog. So finding your form, fingers spread wide, shoulders rolled out. Feet about hip distance apart, taking the chest towards the thighs. Walking our feet forward to the front of the mat. Taking our hands onto the shins, we're going to lift up halfway. So take that lift through the tailbone, gaze forward, shoulders away from the ears. And coming into a forward fold now. We're taking the hands on the back of the legs, wherever feels good. And then drawing yourself in. So hollowing the belly, coming the length of the legs. Hands onto the shin, we're going to do that a couple more times. So extend, find the extension. Through the legs, through the spine. And then drawing ourselves in. Last time. Hands on chin, lifting up. And coming in. Gently rising up. Through to stand. Hands down. Right side, bring the feet together. Standing in mountains. Take a breath. Coming on to our toes, lifting up through the arms. Finding the balance. And then the heels are going to come down. We're going to roll our arms back and sit ourselves into chair pose. Inhale, lifting back onto the toes, straightening through the body. And now the heels are going to come down. We're going to lift up the right leg, holding onto the shin. So lifting it up and bringing it towards you. So if any of you want to take a bit of a back bend here, you just take the hips forward and gently rolling the chest back. Just optional though. Back to neutral, releasing the foot down, rising up with the arms and picking up the other leg now, left leg. Shin up towards you. Just stabilise yourself first, root down with that right foot and take that little back bend here if we want. Back through centre, releasing the feet, rising up with the arms, coming onto the toes again. Heels come down, back into chair, rolling the arms back. Taking the gaze up, past the fingertips. Thighs are strong, feet together, thighs together. Inhale onto the toes again, finding the balance and taking your hands into prayer this time. So listening to our knees here, we're going to come down to a low squat, bringing our bum down towards our heels, but only as far as your knees are going to let you, please. Settling yourself wherever that may be. And we're going to bring our bum down and go straight into boat pose. Use the hands if you need to. So on the bum, take hold of the back of the knees, chest up, shoulders back. Holding strong. We're going to do low boat, releasing the hands, straightening the body and the legs, and just come as low down as you can control. Fully embrace all that wobble. Lifting it back to boat pose if you can. Bringing the feet down, holding onto the shins and chest up, shoulders back into a bit of a cow position here. Back to neutral, another boat. Back of the knees, chest up, shoulders back. But if you want to release the hands here, extend the legs, please feel free, but we're going to do another two, one more after this round of this, into low boat. So release the hands if you haven't done already, extend, lower down. Embrace the wobble. Up we come. Feet down, hold the shins, chest up, shoulders back. Releasing last time, back of the knees, chest up. Finding your form, keeping the breath. Last time, low boat, release the hands, down we go. Embrace the wobble. Up we come. Back to boat, feet down, hands to the shin, lift, shoulders back. Perfect, crossing our feet over. We're coming onto the knees and coming in to downward facing dog. A little bit of movement to start off with and then settling ourselves. We're going to lift up through the right leg, 3-leg dog. And step ourselves forward into a low lunge. So dropping the back knee, lifting up through the arms. Hands come down, back into down dog. Lifting up through the left. Bringing it forward, dropping the back knee, arms come up, sinking our hips. Hands down, down dog. Take a breath. Stepping or walking forward to the front of the mat, holding the elbows, little ragdoll here. And up we come. All the way through the fingertips, hands down, by our side. Bringing ourselves back into mountain pose, hands down by our side, taking a breath. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Lift halfway. Step back with right leg into a high lunge, taking our hands into prayer, sinking down with the hips. Hands come down, step back into plank, shoulders over wrist, chaturanga, come to the knees if you need. Lifting up, dog or cobra. Down facing dog, take a breath. Step or walk back to the front of the mat, halfway, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. And we're going to dive straight back down onto the other side. Exhale. Halfway. Step back with the left. Hook the toes high. And just settle the hips down. Strong back leg. Hands down. Into plank. Come to the knees if we need. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath. We're going to lift it through the right leg, 3-leg dog. Step forward, low lunge, dropping the back knee, lifting up with the arms. So make sure we keep a strong pillar with that knee over the ankle. We're going to take our hands into prayer here, twist over towards the right and hook the top of our arm over the thigh. Stacking the elbows, palms together. So sometimes the balance can be a bit tricky here, so you can either stay here, if it feels okay, hook the back toes, straighten the back leg, and take the pose a little bit deeper. Dropping the knee down, we're going to stay twisted and then open the arms. So we're going to take a little turn to the back of the mat now. So don't worry about not being able to see me, I will explain what we're going to do. So we're going to take this right hand and we're going to roll it forward, and as we do, stand up and then pivot on the feet, right foot coming forward, dropping with the back knee and coming into the same pose on the other side of the mat. So we've got that twist, the open arms. Then we take both arms forward, lift up and come into a low lunge. So keep moving the weight forward. So we're going to go through that little sequence again and move back to the front of the mat. So taking your hands into prayer. Taking the right forearm over the left thigh. Stacking the elbows, palms together. How do I feel? Do I want to stay here, or am I hooking the back toes, extending the back leg? Dropping the back knee, opening the arms, staying in that twisted position when you come back to the front of the mat. So now this left hand that's behind us is going to come forward, standing up, windmilling the arms all the way around, dropping down, and then both arms up, back into that low lunge. Cactus arms, bending the elbows, opening the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Hands up. Hands on the mat, downward facing dog. Little bit of movement. Finding our down dog. Sinking back into the breath. And we're going to do that on the other side. So lifting it through the left leg, 3-leg dog. Bringing it to the front of the mat, dropping the back knee, lifting up into our low lunge. Hands into prayer, turning towards the left now. So elbows stacked, palms together. If your balance feels okay, we hook the back toes, we extend the back leg. Dropping the back knee, again, staying twisted, opening the arms now. When you come back into that little pivot, so this left hand at the back is going to come forward, we're going to stand, windmill our arms round and move towards the back of the mat. The arms come up again and low lunge we go. Taking the hands into prayer, turning towards the right of the mat, hooking the left forearm over the thigh. Again, how do we feel? Can I take this deeper, hooking the back toes? Dropping the back knee, open the arms, remain in that twisted position. We're going to come back to the front of the mat. So this right back hand comes up, we stand, windmill, pivot around, come back to the front of the mat, lift up through the arms, sink down again into the hips. Cactus arms, squeezing the shoulder blades together, the elbows come back, keeping the weight moving forward with our low lunge here. Lifting through the arms, hands come down, downward facing dog. Let's take a breath. Coming into warrior one now. Take the left foot out 45 degrees, the right one comes to the front of the mat. Rising up with the arms, sinking down into the hips. So the energy running down that back leg. Inhale, straighten, hips to the side, arms come out, settling down into our warrior two. So you want to press the fingertips out, taking the energy either side of the room. So keeping the front leg hinged, taking the back arm down, the back leg, reverse warrior. Bringing ourselves up, we're going to straighten everything and come into triangle. Inhale. Exhale, forward first. Hands come down wherever it rests. Engage the core. Bringing the energy up through the left fingertips. Inhale. Exhale, taking your gaze down, coming into plank. Follow the exhale down through your chaturanga. Lifting up dog, opening the chest. Downward facing dog. We're going to do that on the other side. Take the right foot out 45, left one forward. Up we come, warrior one. Warrior two. Straighten, hips out, arms down, sinking down again. Energy pressing either sides of the room. Taking the energy down that back leg also. Taking that outer edge of the foot. Make sure it's nice and stuck into the mat. Reverse warrior, keep the front leg hinged. Back arm down, back leg. Stretching out through our left side. Bringing ourselves back up, straighten everything up. Ready for triangle, inhale. Exhale, forward. So the gaze is either forward or taking it through to the right fingertips. Whatever feels better on your neck is fine. Inhale. Exhale, gaze down. Frame the front foot into plank. Exhale through chaturanga. Facing dog. Down facing dog. Diving back into the breath. Stepping or walking forward to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Forward, fold. Inhale all the way up. Through the fingertips. Hands down by side. Taking a breath. So we're going to come up with the right knee. Lifting up with both of our arms. So we're going to move now into a warrior three, but we're going to bring our arms behind us so they come into aeroplane arms as we extend that back leg out and try and find our nice long line from head to toe. So everything parallel with the ground, hips parallel. It's okay if we're still trying to get down to this angle, be patient. So we're going to lift back up. If you can, keeping that right knee lifted. We're going to do this 2 more times. So bringing the arms back, gliding in to the warrior three. Last time, lifting up. Feel free to rest that foot at any point. Last time. Woo. Last time. We're going to drop that back foot now, lift up with the arms, and bring our hands down onto our hips. So coming into a bit of a pyramid pose, just adjust your feet as you need to. So both feet facing forward, a bit of a space running in between. Inhale. Exhale, halfway down. If you can reach the floor, then do this here. Make sure your legs are straight. If not, press forward with the fingertips here. You want to keep the legs straight so you feel that stretch through the back. Lift up through the tailbone. If you have got your hands down on the ground, then feel that extension through the spine and bring your body along the length of the leg, taking the head down towards the shin. Inhale, lifting slightly, coming all the way up through to stand, lifting the arms, and then bringing yourself back to the front of the mat as we lower them down into mountain, taking a breath, and exhale. So that on the other side, we're going to root the right foot this time, and lift at the left, rising up with both of the arms. So we're going to move into that warrior three transition. So the arms are going to come back, extending out through that back leg. So remember, if we're more here, that's okay. We can keep tipping our toes to the ground until we find the balance. Make sure the gaze is beyond the mat, so not directly at your feet. Lifting back up into stand. Up with the arms, up with the knee. Remember, you can rest at any point. Coming back down into warrior three. Last time, up we come. And back. Dropping the back foot, lifting up the arms. Taking the hands onto the hip and setting ourselves up for pyramid on this side. So both feet facing forward, gap running between the feet, hands to hip, inhale. Extend hips to head. Pulling the heart forward, either hands onto the ground or pressing forward with the fingertips here. Lifting up through the tailbone. Lifting up halfway. Rising up, hands come up. And then back to the front of the mat, into mountain, taking a breath. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Stepping back, just into downward facing dog. And we're going to bring ourselves onto our forearms, into dolphin. So your heels may come up a little bit. Coming onto our knees and onto our hands and our knees then. I'm getting ready to move into puppy pose. So taking the bum up, we're going to stretch out through the arms, bringing our chest down towards the mat. So remember, if you can get down there, then you can always hook your chin and take the gaze forward if it feels okay. If not, we're resting our head on the mat. We really want to lift up through the tailbone. Our bum isn't touching the heels with this. Lifting ourselves up, bringing our hands back. Downward facing dog. Taking a breath. And coming into pigeon pose from here. So the right knee towards the right wrist. Back leg comes back as far as it will go. On your fingertips. Make sure we're level. Find your form. And take the pose deeper if you want to here. Either onto the forearms or stretching out through the hands. Mainly you should feel the stretch through the right thighs or right bum area. Make tiny adjustments as you need to when you're in the pose. So can our back leg come down a little bit more to settle our hips further down to the mat? Lifting ourselves back up onto our fingertips. We're going to squeeze the back heel in towards us, lift the chest, taking the head back ever so slightly. Releasing down. Using the hands to guide you back into downward facing dog. Taking a breath. Other side, left knee, left wrist. Back leg back, back leg back. Adjusting yourself as you need. So as you advance in this pose, the shin is going to come further up the mat. Make sure you flex the foot. See how you feel on this side. Taking it deeper as you feel you need. Remember, you can have a good stretch just on our fingertips in this pose, so remaining here can sometimes just feel enough. Using our hands again to guide us back, downward facing dog. Coming to seated now. Bringing ourselves onto our bum, bring the soles of the feet together. It's just myself, sorry. So you need quite a big diamond shape between your legs. I'm going to take the hands inside of the legs and then on the top of our feet. So if you can't quite reach the feet, you can always grab hold of the ankles. Then we're going to extend the chest forward and bring our head down towards our feet. So as always, we're extending the spine, trying to get a chin in that little cup of your feet. Letting the knees guide down gently. And a couple of breaths here. And lifting ourselves up, we're going to come onto our backs now. So taking hold of the shin, take a little squeeze in, roll on the spine. Keeping hold of the right shin, we're going to extend out through the left leg. So you can rest the left leg on the ground, pressing out through the toe tips, right knee moving up towards you. We're going to take hold of the back of the right leg and then extend it through the leg, through the toes. And taking the hand wherever feels comfortable on this leg, we're going to draw the foot into you, like you're doing the splits, laying down. So you only want to take it to that edge point of the pose. It shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't make you want to hold your breath. And releasing, taking both knees in again, getting ready to swap sides. So we keep hold of the left shin now, extend out through the right. So knee towards your head, pressing out through the right toe tips. Taking hold of the back of the leg, extending up through the left toes. And then again, holding wherever feels good here. We're going to draw that leg in towards your body, keeping the head on the floor. Taking the knee in, bringing the other one in to meet it, little squeeze again. And then just rolling our way up to seated, taking our hands at prayer at the heart. So let's take a breath together in, slowly through the mouth, and again. Thank you very much for practicing with me today. Namaste to you, and now please enjoy beautiful final pose, your Shavasana. So taking yourself onto the mat now, however feels comfortable. Just soften, jaw soft, shoulders resting into the mat, letting go of the feet and the hands and the thighs.